Hi guys, my name is Ivan, and I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of the Crafting Forge. So this YouTube channel has been a long time coming for me. I've been working on it for a couple of years, and I finally feel like I'm at the point where I can start providing some actual quality content. And that's really exciting. So one of the first things I want to say is that I do have a foundry and a forge downstairs, and they are working, and that allows me the ability to melt and cast and mold metal along with my 3D printers. I have up here that are just printing their little hearts out, and they're doing a great job providing me the really high quality prints. I have an Ender 3 Pro and an Illigu Mars, along with a lot of foam work that I do. I have a Proxon, and I get down on all of the crafty stuff. So that's why this is called the Crafting Forge, is because not only are we crafting stuff, but we're gonna do some metal stuff as well. And I just feel like that's an important part of having it in there. I'm playing D&D and Warhammer and war games and pretty much anything along those lines. I've been building dioramas for years, and these things are just fun for me, and I really enjoy it. So I am going to try to impart some of my knowledge that I've acquired, and I hope to show you guys a really good time about what we got going on here. For the first episode right here, I've got something really cool printed out. I printed out two of these models. This one right here is the Vile Steel Dragon, and this is fully assembled and put together. It's a very nice model by Mini Monster Mayhem. Printed it at 0.05 on the Illigu Mars. And what we're going to do on the channel today is, like I said, I printed two of them. One of them I've went ahead and taken off the supports and assembled, and the other one is still here in the many pieces that I printed it in. Took about 80 hours to print this model. Whole bunch of different pieces. If anyone's familiar with the Illigu Mars, they know that the print bed is not too big. It's the same size as the Photon and the E-Packs. They're all the same size. And they're all really close in quality. So if you guys are debating on a 3D printer, don't even worry about it. Pull the trigger on any of those. They're great machines. So at the end of this video, we're gonna have two of these very nice Vile Steel Dragons assembled, and then maybe we'll paint them. Maybe someone out there wants to paint them. Who knows? We'll get right into it. So you can see right here, I'm just going through with my X-Acto knife, and I'm just breaking the supports away from the model. I'm just taking my time, and any part where I feel that the supports could possibly break a really detailed part of the model, I will go ahead and use my X-Acto knife to remove them first and then pull the rest of the supports off. All of these models did come pre-supported, and they were done really nice in Chi2 box. Most of Mini Monster Mayhem's models do come pre-supported, and so that's a really nice plus, and he does a really good job supporting his models. You can really tell that he has a good idea on what he's doing, because he puts the supports in places where they shouldn't affect the overall model too much, and it makes removing the supports quite easy. So this model printed in about 8 different prints at about 9 hours each, and through the whole process of printing both of the dragons, I only had one failure, and that was absolutely my fault. I just forgot to tighten the knob on the top of the build plate. And so other than that, it prints really nice. Like I said, I printed it twice and only had the one failure that was my fault. As you see right here, I'm working on the base, and so it's actually a whole nother dragon. At the end of it, the model is actually ripping open the other dragon's mouth, kind of King Kong T-Rex style, which is really cool. And so I'm getting ready to start assembling the model here in a minute. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a needle, and I'm going to use some of the UV resin, and I'm going to bring over my UV cure light, and I have it hooked up to a floor pedal. I'm a huge fan of floor pedals. Anything that I can do where I can keep both my hands working at the same time and still be able to do stuff is pretty awesome. So as you see, I've got the model all laid out and staged up, and I'm just kind of dry fitting it with my UV light, giving it just one drop of resin, and then putting it, making sure it's where I want it to sit at. And then after it is, I'll go through and I'll fill the gaps in the rest of the way and hit it with the UV light again. And this provides you a really strong model, something a lot stronger than like super glue and other things would do, because after I take this whole model, after it's assembled, and I put it into my UV cure station, all of that resin is going to cure as one solid piece, and you're going to be looking at a really strong piece, much stronger as if it was glued together. And I found that this is probably one of the best ways to assemble any kind of resin model. It is a little messy. You do have to be careful. Obviously, I'm not wearing gloves, but I'm only working with tiny amounts of resin, and I'm very careful not to get it on myself. It's coming along quite nicely. You can see it's
pretty detailed model, but I've got it, and you're just working on it nice, one piece at a time, just taking your time, filling your gaps, and making sure your seams come out real nice. And so this model was a ton of fun to put together. It was a ton of fun to watch print, and I'm really excited to have two of them in my collection now. I will actually be sending one of these out to get painted. I have a good friend who wants to do some painting for me, and I think this is a perfect model that they would really enjoy that. And so, unfortunately, towards the end right here, I did miss the last couple of minutes of the assembly of actually putting the wings on and everything. I guess the GoPro had died and I didn't catch it. So, unfortunately, I did lose that little bit of footage. I can't really go back and unassemble it and then reassemble it for you guys. But I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. I'm going to cut to the outro here in a minute, and I do apologize that this is my first video. The sound quality and the video quality aren't the best. I am working on ways to improve those things. So I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I also do just want to point out my little ender over there in the background, just working its little heart out. It's making a couple of buildings, and they'll be coming up in a couple of future episodes. I've got a lot of big plans for the channel.
Hi guys, thanks for watching the very first episode of the Crafting Forge. I hope you enjoyed the cleanup and assembly of the Vile Steel Dragon as much as I enjoyed doing it for you. I'm really excited to be able to have two of these models in my collection now. They're really highly detailed. I'm going to send one of them out to be painted by someone who's a much better painter than me. So that's going to be fun and exciting. I'll post some of that in the future. I hope that you guys stay safe and keep crafting. Have a wonderful day, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you care. This is first video, so